All right, Shalom, Akim. We on?
So
Shalom Akim. This is the Grand Rapids camp. Uh, First of all, giving all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Honors and salutation to you brothers doing the work of truth and sincerity. And basically, we just going to do various topics just like the title says. And, basically, the brothers got topics we want to briefly go into. So without further ado, we're going to get it started. You start off,
Khan, I just wanted to, briefly touch up on, the time of Jacob's trouble since, we're getting ever closer to the time. And we can see the prophecies, speaking as far as these trade wars, escalating into soon to be World War III. And, just going into that pretty much as far as us storing up faith as far as like, being delivered out of the time of Jacob's trouble. But I just recently seen that movie, the first Purge, and I know other Akim done, did their commentary or take on it, as far as how Esau is going to come in that day. And the first scripture I'm going to start off with, is in Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, starting at verse 68. Yeah, it says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." So, I mean, as far as the time of martial law and the time of when they passed that mark of the beast, which is that RFID chip, they're gonna offer safe haven, inside these concentration camps or so-called safe havens, where they'll offer you food and shelter and things of that nature. But the whole guise to that is that you have to get that RFID chip, and anybody that gets the RFID chip, they're going to be, condemned, according to the scriptures in the Revelation of the 14th chapter. They're going to receive it at that cup, so that goes back to, just enduring in faith, enduring and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and not taking that chip, but rather, if it came down to it, choosing to accept death, because that's the reality that we come into, you
Mhm.
know.
Fine.
And it says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." So you know, it's going to be a lot of our people that consent onto them. You know, just out of convenience. Just to get out of starving or whatever type of plagues that these devils is going to bring during the time of martial law.
Yes,
Fine.
You know,
I got a scripture, Luke 21:26. Men's hearts, and I'm going right to the point. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. I mean, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. But the point is, man's heart's failing them for fear in that time of trouble, man. It ain't gonna be no joke, not even for us, seeing all these things. And then
right?
knowing that some of us is actually gonna die in these things too, like don't have to face the guillotine and all that other stuff, being men of the Lord, basically dying as martyrs, so to speak. But even before that, all hell breaking loose. It's not just martial law. The Lord is going to send all types of different creatures that He created to destroy people, man.
Okay.
I got a precept. Uh, right. So a lot of this stuff that's taking place in preparation for the time to come, especially this time of judgment on 2/3 of our people, they're gonna feel the bread of this judgment. All right. Um, because they turn their faces away from the Most High. This is why you see such an increase in violence against our people. The devil's coming down on 2/3 of our people, especially with great wrath, because it's on their spirit. Most High is basically punishing them. So, like, say for instance, all those jakes that were in that church, all right, in the purge, in the first purge, and
And I mean, not so like you not to cut in, but it just also goes back to recognizing that it's going to lead to that eventual race war.
uh,
That one people shall stand up against another.
uh,
That prophecy is also going to be fulfilled.
not to
And that's
mention
the
they
time
also
where
say,
I mean, we seeing it now where these Edomites is already showing their true colors. Trying to go back to that whole Jim Crow era, like as far as they see Jake in a place where they don't think they belong, they want to call the police on them and try to investigate everything that Jake is doing right now, along with these cops. Still, you got a new nigga that basically gets put to death, unjustly every week.
right,
So that's
yeah,
still steadily building up that racial tension.
uh, and that's the hand of the Most High too, bringing that what seemed to be unjust death to those in the world, excuse me, to those in the truth and the know. We know the Most High is executing judgment. You know, you just like to take down two birds with one stone. You know, the Most High put it on a nigga's spirit to kill another nigga, and then turn around and put that nigga in prison for life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
this is Isaiah 59:4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity.
They want Esau's justice and Esau's land at the same time. Like, how do you expect justice from your enemies, that the same ones that put you in captivity? How you expect to go to their laws and their court systems and expect, like, that these devils is gonna go have a fair verdict, concerning, a Jake being put to death wrongfully, or any type of thing to be done when they look out for their own.
Uh, no justice in this place for us. It's not set up. This isn't the place of our justice. It's the place of our the place of our justification, the place of our judgment. And also it also says none calleth for justice, nor pleadeth for truth. You know, everybody shies away from the truth. That's why they like to watch this Fluff News Network, you know, Fox and NBC and all that bullshit.
Yep,
You
I
know,
got a quick precept for y'all. Is Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down to Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Because that's basically what Jake is doing. The first person you're supposed to call on when you're in trouble is your Hawabashim Yahushai. You call on your God. See,
Uh,
God.
that is
And they don't, you know, but how can you call on him and you don't even know his name?
right. Okay, well, how can you call on your God and you don't know his name? They call on Esau's justice system, which Esau's justice system has never gave justice to our people, and they
Right,
trust in Esau's penal code rather than trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
right. Just like they
So
trust
this
in his cures and his medicines. And, you know, they trust in him. You know, it said that we will go to our enemy for one need of all things, but they want need and desire. You know, they come to him like a god.
right,
and then they always want you to get a lawyer because as far as your word in court being a Jake or being a so-called Negro or Latino or Native American, your word doesn't really count for yourself in court. Your word means nothing.
Right, it's
They
just
don't regard
they
the
have
testimony of
represent
a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American.
because they have their own speech in court. They have their own speech. You have to go to the different law schools or do some deep studying when you receive that license, that degree, and basically they have a certain language that they speak. All right.
Yeah, that goes back to masonry.
Uh, if you don't know them secret words in certain speeches and have that rank, then it's a wrap. You know. Going back to Isaiah 50:59 and 4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies, and they conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Right? So they love bringing forth all of this motherfucking iniquity, homosexual marriages, women's lib, feminine movement, all of that. It says they had cockatrice eggs and weaved the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed breaketh out in the vipers. In other words, you can't win or lose in this society. This society is set up where if you accept this shit, it's basically poison. The poison of this society, the wines of this society, you basically accepting Christianity, baptism. You know what I'm saying? You
Then
get
you
that.
accept a lot of that's that wine and philosophies,
Exactly.
pretty much, that's basically make you filthy and polluted, before the Lord,
Con.
accepting the ways of this society,
Right. Because it says, he that eateth of their eggs dieth. All right. Because you become spiritually dead. All right.
right?
Basically.
You become, basically you end up committing spiritual adultery,
Con.
against the
Con.
Most High, and taking the philosophies of this current age, or this current rulership of Esau, which is the beast,
Right.
the
Con.
image of the beast.
Con.
But 2/3 of our people, they worship the course of this system, this American, Edomite ran system.
Con. Well, they
Um,
used to say that sin is death, and when they take in these different philosophies and these different wines, they destroying themselves. It says, their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. So you have no cover for yourselves. All right, they tell us to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, because when you turn around and you look at us, even in the time of persecution, if we do what this word says and rehearse it to the best of our ability, even unto our day of trial, all right, in the end, we'll look blameless like Yahweh Shai. When they took Yahweh Shai to trial, even Pontius Pilate had to wash his, Edom might have to wash his hands of the situation because
Con.
he was innocent of that in the end. And this is how the Most High would desire us to remain. That's why he don't want us standing up and up to that black gorilla mainframe bullshit and all these movements, man. He don't desire us to stand
Right.
up and do
Oh
that.
yeah, I forgot. Disclaimer: we are in no way affiliated with Black identity extremists. We are the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. Black is derogatory term meant for our people. We are the true Israelites as described in the Bible from our respective tribes. And we are in no way affiliated with any terrorist organization. We are a people, the Israelites, telling a people, the Israelites, who they are, and prophesying the words of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai in the Bible, the real names of the Most High and His Son.
Con,
because they'll still try to Esau will try to go about finding any way to paint us as a threat to national security. So
Right.
that's why we stay away from that vibration as far as being called Black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
Because they got that listed as on the Project Megiddo as far as the
Mm-hmm.
list of threats to national security.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just pushing out the vibration of not trying to uptake the sword or try to liberate ourselves, but being in full faith and subjection to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai,
Right.
as far as waiting upon Him for our deliverance, because that's where our strength and our power is going to come in. As
Mm-hmm.
far as going back to Isaiah 59:19, it says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun." I mean, we're on the western hemisphere of the world, so that's talking about the Americas.
con,
When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. And that word standard, I looked it up. I think it was Nawaz. Let me check it again. It says Nawas, and it means to be able to escape or to flee. you know, or to put to flight or drive hastily. So, he's going to be able to have that standard for the elect to be able to, escape or flee, as far as the pursuit of the enemy
Oh,
or to
absolutely.
cause the enemy to take
Right.
flight, especially, as far as us, the certain elect man receiving spiritual powers,
Uh,
you know.
I was literally standing on it. Amos
Probably
4:14
not.
says,
Sorry.
therefore the flight shall perish from the swift, and the strong shall not strengthen his force,
So
neither shall the mighty deliver
right.
himself.
It's like
Neither shall he stand that handleth the bow, and he that is swift of foot shall not deliver himself, neither shall he that rideth the horse deliver himself. Right. Nobody's gonna get away from this, man.
10 or 10.
And in that day is courageous, and he that is courageous among the mighty shall flee away naked in that day, saith Yahweh. So it's not gonna be some brave cat that's all enduring this, some badass like John Wayne type character, some Clint Eastwood type motherfucker, Black Dynamite type motherfucker. It's not gonna be somebody standing there in such good condition in that day that they just like, man, this ain't shit. The closest thing is gonna be the elect, and it said that they scarcely saved. We still all gonna be tried right now, man.
Kind.
You know? All of us have to be tried because the Most High already know what He installed in each and every one of us. We don't know that though, and have a part of a ruling class mentality is learning how to use these abilities. You know what I'm saying? Use this. It says, "Shall not ye not pretty much shall ye not judge angels in the coming life in the kingdom, man. We're gonna have dominion over angels and other individuals. So having a ruling class mentality is something that's earned. Those dope ass kings and warriors and certain kings that started out on the battlefield and came up from nothing, and you know what I'm saying, they all gained that ability to rule by the things that they went through, experiences that they took in and embarked on 3 times. All the way up there. God damn.
that's loud. What is that? A movie?
Somebody got shot in the head 3 times. God damn. That
God.
motherfucker didn't make it. This shit.
Right.
You better hope he did shit.
But yeah, just a quick precept to back you up. This is 1 Samuel 2:9. It says, he being the Most High, will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength no man shall prevail. Just going back to, what the I just said, as far as it's not our own might that's, pretty much we're going to depend on to deliver us,
God. God.
You have nothing to do with that. No, that's basically set aside by the Most High. Because we can go ahead and have the dopest artillery and all kind of tanks and shit, and a motherfucker can get sick and just die. Get pneumonia and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, I mean, Esau got every type of weaponry for the sword that you can think of, as far as okay, all the guns that's on the market, Esau makes, every single one of them. So it's not a gun that Jake can have access to that Esau hasn't already made or manufactured. You know, as far as its capabilities, then you got the drones and you got the explosives. I mean, so
Well, you
pretty
got
much Esau done
mosquitoes.
covered all angles as
You
far
got
as
you
his
got you
gift
got robotic
blessing being the
mosquitoes.
gift of the sword.
102. You got
Mm-hmm.
robotic mosquitoes. And you can't see how can you can't hardly see a mosquito coming. And they actually have it set that they inject you with a neurotoxin. All right, or nanomites, those little small ass microscopic robots. Once they get inside your body is gonna bend to their will unless the Most High is with you. This is Zechariah 14. Also, I wanted to bring up too some of the things that's been happening in, over there on the border because now before I came up here to do the lesson with the brothers, I have received an alert, like a news alert from RT, and it was basically showing footage, an article basically showing that Trump. It said that they're basically sending 700 U.S. soldiers to the border. All right, what they did is it's the problem reaction solution. The problem was the infrastructure was destabilized in South America. The reaction over time of continuous famine and being killed by the individuals that are supposed to be protecting them. All of these things over and over. They all, especially when they flee, and they had to flee in large numbers because of the smaller numbers that they fled from Guatemala. Um, they were being kidnapped and taken and thrown into the sex trade by Esau and by other Israelites. And then you had everybody come at one point in time, gathered together. What would make a people gather together by the 7,000? You know what I'm saying? All at one time, trying to get the fuck out of their own place of residence. You know what I'm saying? So
Con,
the Most High, well, the Most High used Esau to basically cause a problem. The reaction from that is a refugee influx around the whole world, and the solution is going to be lethal force. All right, this is Zechariah 14:2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. Jerusalem is a people before a place. It says, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravaged, and half the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from their city. History repeats itself continuously. All right. And we have to use history constantly as a reference from 70 AD all the way back. Okay, because similar things have transpired. Henceforth, saying history repeats itself because it's a fact. And this is something that happened to us even when Jerusalem was destroyed, all the way to the different captivities that each tribe went into. And this is going to be the ultimate form of it, man. All right. And it's going to
con,
happen again. You're going to have these motherfuckers breaking in doors, kicking in doors of some two-thirds and individuals and raping their family right in front of them, man. You're going to see they wife ravaged right in front of them. And man, on a even more fucked up level, depending on how the Most High feel about sins and things that you do, he may have one of them individuals butt break the male in that bitch. Because you know Esau's itching to do that shit. You hear about what they over there doing. They did in Guantanamo Bay, different black sites and prisons over there in the Middle East. How they getting in trouble for doing all that gay ass shit to the prisoners and shit. So this devil look forward to doing that type of shit again. That's making America great again because they can do the things that they did in their past. It
Yep.
says, then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of the battle. So the Most High is going to have to intervene. This is how bad this shit is going to be, man. It's going to be so bad that Yahweh Shem Shai has to, Yahweh has to send Yahweh Shai in a multitude of chariots to intervene with it, man.
and then just a quick back you up with a quick precept. Like this is going back to Second Ezra 16 verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. You know, those that fear the Lord, you know, is the Israelites, especially starting to those that claim they you know in the truth, you know, out there on the highways and hedges teaching his word, you know,
Yeah.
because they're gonna make their, you know, start at us, you know. Then it's gonna trickle down to, you know, the average everyday so-called Negro, Latino, or Native, you know, that's out in the world, you know.
Mm.
It says they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For
Wait,
they
so the
shall
brother Salakia, you
oh
don't mind me saying that, and so you stop and you look at these Trump, what's it called, the harvest, the goddamn harvest box meals. Is that what they call that? My God, is that what they call harvest box meals or something like that?
harvest box.
Oh yeah, the Trump box.
Yeah, what's it called? The
Harvest.
harvest
Yeah, the
box
harvest.
meal?
Harvest box, yeah. Yeah,
Right,
it's
let me
called a
fuck-
harvest box for basically the Trump food that they're gonna send to everybody and cut off
Let me see
half
if
of
I
your
can find
food
them.
stamps or half of your EBT stamps or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, man, that Trump harvest box is coming, man.
yeah.
And
Oh, I'm not. Wait, I got that beater.
and
Not to mention
I
what
got
Trump
that,
beater
was,
epic friend.
that
uh,
famine. That
I'm gonna.
famine in Egypt
This
look
guy.
like
Yeah, I'm gonna.
nobody's gonna be able to find work, man. You understand? When that wheel stop grinding, you're
Let
gonna
me turn
really
that
feel
active.
that. Because then you're gonna be forced to take on something that you had before. You're gonna be forced to be
I
like,
know how to do
hey,
it. I already know
I
how to do
gotta
it.
get on social welfare and shit or something. I ain't never had to do that before in my life. And that's
Yeah, I
what
already
it
know. I
is.
already know how to do it.
But the
Okay, I'm gonna
situations that
find my
we
friend as
coming
possible.
into, it's all to funnel you like cattle. They call us slaves.
I'm gonna actually feel to
It's
put.
all the funnel. They all have a system to where they send these cows to the slaughterhouse, man.
mhm.
Damn, I had some shit
The
earlier.
game before this,
Uh,
I
Yeah,
was
that's that problem reaction solution.
I was playing.
Because they know how Jake is gonna react when they cut off all of these government benefits, and then as far as when the grinding ceases, and they already know how they're gonna cause Jake to react out here in the streets, so that way they can have a reason to do all of these atrocities.
All right.
okay.
If y'all got something else, I'm
Oh no,
gonna,
I got the
shut this stream down here. And y'all got
I
anything else
want
y'all want to
this.
bring out on this subject?
I didn't have enough V-Bucks for it.
You are yeah. Let's see. Lock ya. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him to join the party.
I'm trying to see. I'm gonna have to drop that one. I want to end off with something. Session load.
But I'm gonna ask him if he wants to join.
Okay.
I'm
This is
gonna.
Jeremiah. This is
Hey,
Jeremiah
let me join.
16 and
Yep. What's up, guy? He doesn't have a mic though. No, she doesn't have a
this
mic.
is Jeremiah 16. We can start at 9. For thus saith
No,
Yahweh of hosts,
this is the one that was
Yahweh
joined.
of Israel. Behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. It's not gonna be all of this celebrating and partying in the streets like it is on the weekends and shit.
Uh,
And it shall come to pass when thou shalt show this people all these words, and they shall say unto thee, wherefore
Actually,
hath the
can be
Most High
both.
pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we have committed against the Most High Yahweh? Right?
Right, man. And plus, it ain't like they ain't been already been warned. We out there. I mean, the Akim out there every weekend. You got camps damn near in almost every major city across the U.S. and then all over the world. You got a camp out in Suriname now. In Ghana.
right,
All of these different camps popping up. So it's not
I
like
did not.
our
But
people
it sounds
don't know
pretty.
the truth. You know, as
right,
Right.
far as giving them warning.
right.
And did
Because
you
you got
learn the
people,
name?
you got
Oh, sorry.
reporters reporting on it, so they know the truth. Is that they take heed to it? That's the only question now. The truth is out there. The mustard seed has been planted,
Translates.
and it's growing. So it's like the truth is out there. You can't. There's no excuse for people anymore to say that they didn't know.
Right. Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah,
Uh,
can't even say you didn't know anymore.
right. Yeah, especially when you learn the name, the true name of the Most High and His Son, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and you still calling on Jesus. I mean, what the fuck can you
Did
expect,
she
man?
die?
No, that's pissing the Most High off. It said, Then shalt thou say
Did she
unto
die?
them, because your fathers have forsaken me, says the Most High, um, and have
You know
walked
what's sad?
after
It's
other
like
gods and have served them
it's
and have
sad that you're
worshipped them and
actually
have
able
forsaken
to
me and have not
legally,
kept my law.
basically
Right,
choose
there's
them.
that there go that plantation Christianity that the naming of other gods. I
Huh.
mean, as far as it coming from us, we a bunch of discredited Negroes, as far as
As far as the
us trying to
masses.
persuade the people on the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So that's how this thing is only given to a small remnant, and that small remnant is the ones that's going to call on His name, in spirit and in truth.
It says, it says, and ye also it says, when it says, and you have walked after other gods and have served them. That's also going to those Israelites that's going to feel that slaughter of them troops at that border, man. All right, because he want to call them on, you got brothers out there preaching the word in Spanish, so it's no excuse now. Y'all probably didn't laugh and talk shit about them, and you want to keep calling on Jesus Christos.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't even realize that you're really pissing the Most High off, and you probably all earnest about it and shit. Said light incense and shit and candles and all that shit.
Right.
Especially after you done heard the truth.
Right. And you doing this shit after you done heard the truth. And I'm talking about you praying like 3 or 4 times a day.
Like that motherfucker that years ago tried to come against the apostles when they were still being called elders at that time. The one said he was Ezekiel. God, go down fire. Nothing happened and shit. Like motherfucker was praying earnestly to Jesus Christ, man. To Jesus Christos. And nothing happened. He looked like a fucking idiot.
Like a straight up
some fire on this stupid ass though. But
there could be my ending precept, as far as that goes. This is Acts chapter 4, starting at verse 12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. And then period, point blank. I mean, what was the scripture is written in? Ancient Hebrew. The ancient Hebrew text. So what do you think? As far as the Most High and the Son's name is originally.
God.
Which shows. I mean, it's just gonna be found out to those in that day. As far as the God that they believe in, as far as like what name really has power.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know what we stand.
They slick already know. They just want to continue in their wickedness, so they believe in God and Jesus Christ, and they believe anybody that preached that madness. Okay,
right.
That's the first part of this lesson. We're gonna come back to it later. Until next time, all praise and glory to Yahweh. And double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to you brothers doing the work of truth. Shalom.
Shalom.